BeakerBeat.
It's Monday, September 26, 2011. In this week's BeakerBeat, President Obama's plans to reduce the deficit could have a massive impact on pharma. We break it down for you. Plus, having a job in this economy is a good thing, but that doesn't mean you can't look for something better. Find out which life sciences companies are rated the best to work for. And AdvaMed 2011, the MedTech conference, is underway, and Beaker is there. Plus, we dig into our mailbag. All that and more in this week's edition of BeakerBeat, brought to you by Allergan. To learn more about Allergan, visit their company webpage on Beaker.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of BeakerBeat. I'm Mike Justice. Thanks for tuning in. We're here at AdvaMed 2011, the MedTech conference, for this week's show. We'll have more on that later, but first, here's this week's top story. Last week, President Obama revealed his plan to reduce deficits by more than $3 trillion over 10 years. In that plan are proposals to cut $320 billion from projected spending on Medicare and Medicaid, which of course affects pharma companies, and it's a triple whammy. First, Obama would impose higher drug rebates on dual eligibles, the low-income Medicare patients who also qualify for Medicaid. Bloomberg reports that branded drug makers would give a 23% rebate on products used by those dual eligibles, while generics makers would rebate 13% on those patients. The rebates are expected to save Uncle Sam $135 billion over 10 years. Wall Street estimates that BMS, AstraZeneca, and Eli Lilly would be the hardest hit if this happens. Second, Obama would also prohibit the patent settlements between generics firms and branded drug makers known as pay-to-delay deals. This is viewed by the government as a barrier to lower prices, as the branded drugs would be free from cheaper competition for a longer period. And finally, remember that deal in the healthcare reform bill that biotechs got from the White House for 12 years of marketing exclusivity for biologics? Well, guess what? There's been a change of heart, and Obama plans to shrink the protection for branded biotech drugs down to just 7 years. I know, a shocker that someone in Washington flip-flopped. Obama's budget director said the president's new deficit reduction plan would impose, quote, a lot of pain. Certainly an understatement. Drug makers have been lobbying against dual-eligible rebates and other pharma-related cuts. The trade group Pharma commissioned a study of the rebates, finding lost revenues could touch off as many as 260,000 job losses. Let's hope their research is faulty, as these proposals, or at least some version of them, are bound to survive. So tell us what you think about this story or any story that you see in today's show. Very simple. Click on the orange button below me. A box will pop up. Type in your comments, send it to me. I promise I'll read and respond to every one of them. And when you're done watching BeakerBeat, check out Beaker's blog, where we reveal the real story behind Michael Mahoney's departure from J&J to become Boston Scientific's new CEO. Plus, find out about a new device that simulates pregnancy for expectant dads. Those stories and more on Beaker's blog. All right, Jeremy, it's official. Here's our little banner. Tells us that we're in this booth. We set up the booth. We're ready for our CEO interviews and all of the stuff we're going to do. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to walk around and get some free swag.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Wow, winning.
They say that winning isn't everything, but boy does it help. And according to a new survey from Science magazine, biotech workers agree. Science's new list of top biotech employers in the U.S. and Europe features the top three, Vertex, Regeneron, and Roche's Genentech, that have been winning in their respective fields over the past year. Now, this survey wrapped in April, long before some of these companies' big achievements, such as the May approval of Vertex's new Hep C drug Civic. Vertex was number 3 in this poll last year, by the way. Also, size doesn't appear to matter. Abbott, Novartis, Roche, Bayer, and Novo Nordisk made the top 20, but other big boys like Pfizer, J&J, and Merck did not. While this is only one survey, biopharma employers know that scientists are the lifeblood of their teams, and a happy team helps the company get product approvals, and thus a healthy bottom line. Firms with unhappy R&D groups risk losing top talent. Moral of the story, happy science is good, miserable science is bad.
We're here, like, winning. I'm sorry, winning.
Time for quick hits now, and President Barack Obama signs a patent overhaul bill that's largely praised by device makers. The America Invents Act is viewed by many as a victory for innovators and improves U.S. competitiveness globally by aligning new patent laws more closely with those from other countries. The new law will simplify the patent process by reducing red tape and improving the quality of patents that are granted. The act will also provide resources to eliminate the backlog of 700,000 applications stuck in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Pfizer plans to spend $200 million on its Dublin area manufacturing facility. The investment will expand production capacity and will create up to 400 jobs while the construction is underway. The Grange Castle facility makes 2 key Pfizer products, the Prevnar vaccine and Enbrel. Since it opened in 2005, it has grown to 1,100 employees. Merck's top U.S. human health official signed a memo notifying employees in several departments that jobs will be cut by the end of October. Apparently, just eliminating vacant positions isn't enough for top management. Among the targeted departments are marketing and 2 specialty sales groups, neuropsychiatric and women's health care. Covidien unveiled plans to launch a research and development facility in Shanghai, China. 2 of the company's emerging market units will be housed in the 100,000 square foot facility, which will be fully operational next July. Several items to report from Wright Medical. The company plans to cut about 80 jobs, or 6% of its workforce, as the company battles sluggish growth in an orthopedics market hurt by the economic downturn. Also, the company says it reached an agreement with the U.S. government on improper doctor payments. Finally, Wright Medical's board of directors tapped Robert Palmisano as president and CEO. Palmisano was most recently president and CEO of EV3, which was bought by Contagion last year. GE has finalized agreements to set up 2 new joint ventures in Russia, one in healthcare, the other in energy, which could drive up to $15 billion in sales. The JV will manufacture, assemble, sell, and service a range of high-tech medical diagnostic equipment. They'll initially start producing CT scanners and then expand to other diagnostic equipment from there. The Russian government plans to spend more than $30 billion through 2014 on healthcare. GE has more than 2,700 employees and reported 2010 revenues of $1.5 billion in Russia.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
Checking our mailbag, and we got some mixed responses on Sonosite's new ad, which featured a slick TV drama-styled production. Hector writes, quote, "I have to say I saw this commercial and thought it was a new TV series coming out. It's amazing to see how the industry is more and more moving towards TV advertising. We need more of it, and we need people to be aware that there are medical devices that promote healing and better physical health. Kudos to those who make this happen." However, not everyone was impressed. Paul Stein writes, "You guys don't watch much television, do you? Medtronic similarly advertised its ICDs and Boston Scientific its stents years ago. Paul, have you seen our show? We watch more TV than anyone should. And we politely disagree. The production value and style was a step above those examples you gave." So as we mentioned before at the top of the show, AdvaMed 2011, the MedTech Conference, is underway in Washington, D.C. Once again, AdvaMed 2011, the MedTech Conference, will represent the premier gathering of the best companies in medical devices, diagnostics, and equipment. And the event has grown even bigger and better than before. An exhibit hall will feature more than 90 exhibitors, and many CEOs are on hand and accessible. The agenda is loaded with topics including private equity funding, safety and quality, technology and regulatory, and many more. More importantly, AdvaMed has created a conference environment that is intimate and productive. Now, as a reminder, we're going to be doing daily updates on AdvaMed 2011, the MedTech Conference. You can find those on Beaker's blog or on the AdvaMed 2011 homepage. Well, that's it for this week's edition of BeakerBeat. I'm Mike Justice. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Sit, Beaker. Sit. Good dog.